Unaiona tu yako ni different rangi inakuja mahali ya zile kuja lives.
Am I alive?
No, you can still see him.
Yeah. It's moving.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can see you asking now. Whether you are dead or alive.
I can't see myself.
Yeah, it's okay. There's something called line one.
But no.
They can see.
Is it good to capture? Yeah. Then we need to send people the link first, right?
UASU TUK line. UASU TUK.
Already. Oh, naenda hiyo ingine.
Yeah, we can start. It's done. It's done one.
Do you have something to be done? It is dancing.
When they come out,
This thing is dancing.
No.
You cannot see it. So members, we're just about to begin now. I hope I'm live. Good morning, colleagues. Oh, I would like to welcome you to this debate of today. It is a very, very important occasion for us, but before we start, allow me to ask one of us to lead us in a short prayer. Dr. Nico, sorry.
Good morning, everyone. Let us pray. Father, we want to thank you this morning for your goodness, for your mercy, for your favor. We want to thank you today because it's a new day for TUK Chapter. And Father, we ask for your wisdom. We ask for your peace. We ask for your patience as we partake this debate. We give you glory and the honor. We pray, believing and trusting in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, as you are all aware, we are in the debate which is going to help us as a family to come up with a leadership that is going to take us through in the next 5 years of the UASU TUK chapter. This team is going to be very critical in terms of helping us arrive at solutions to all our concerns regarding labor relations, also being a link to our employer. Now, we are starting a little late, and first of all, I have to apologize for that. There was some technical hitch here and there, but I think we shall be able to finish all our programs in time as we had requested earlier. So for that, let me try to introduce to you the panel that you're having today. In the panel of the moderators, we have Dr. Geoffrey Otieno. Then we have Dr. Joyce Omoha. Then Dr. Tabitha Ndiku. All of them are colleagues here, and myself, Professor Thomas Onyango, as the convener. In the position of chair, we are graced with 2 contestants today. That is Jacob Musembe, the current chair, or the outgoing chair, and Peter N. Levinje, the outgoing deputy chair. Vice chairman. So they are going to take up on each other to at least tell us exactly what they have for us. And the program is going to be like this, or in this format. We shall accord them 10 minutes, each one of them, starting with the one who is top in the list, to tell us exactly what is his manifesto. Then we go to the next person, who is going to also be given 10 minutes. I think Dr. Geoffrey is going to be helping us in timekeeping for that purpose. Then upon conclusion of that first bit of it, we shall be having 10 minutes with the panel to ask you 1 or 2 questions. Now, the questions we shall ask goes like this. We shall give the first candidate or contestant a first question. Then we shall give the second contestant a second question. Then after that, if they're willing, they can take up the question that was asked to the first contestant. That is, the second contestant can take the first question if he thinks that he can handle it better. And then the second contestant will also take up the question that was asked to the first contestant, if he feels that the first contestant did not answer it quite well. Upon doing that, when we are through with you, as the panel, we shall give our audience at least time to ask 1 or 2 questions, at a maximum 2, maybe 1 for each candidate, then they answer. After you've been asked that question and you have responded, we shall accord you 5 minutes to at least round up the whole exercise, and then we come to the end of the debate. I think that is the rule. If we so agree, then we go with that, right? Thank you so much. So, colleagues, without wasting a lot of time, we are 10:12. That is 1 hour, 12 minutes late. So, Jacob Musembe, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, and the chair, to the panelists. Good morning, colleagues who are seated here, and good morning, colleagues who are out there watching us live. My name is Jacob Musembe from the School of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. I'm vying for the position of the chairman. Colleagues, we have had a lot of issues within our institution, and more so based on what members of staff really required. I have served you previously as the chapter secretary, and I wish to outline the following. That we have been able to restructure our financial way of doing things and reorganizing it so that we get our pay in good time, and our submission to various financial institutions have been done on time. We do not have a lot of issues on that end. For collective bargaining agreement, we have been able to negotiate 2 CBAs. One CBA that was able to move us from 4,200 house to office allowance, and 9,000 to 14,000. In that CBA, we were also able to remove this aspect of one being told to bring a car loan because to be paid the 14,000. We have recently negotiated the second CBA, 2013-2017, which is now with the SRC, pursuant to the procedures that are required during negotiations. We have worked behind the scenes to negotiate with management so that our GS and TFs can be able to be promoted. These promotions were going on last year. On the pension, we have been able to push through years, and as I speak today, we are almost there in terms of pension, because our corporate trustee will be setting up the start of payment of pension probably in the next 1 month or 2 months. In our health insurance, there are many challenges, but a lot has been done. I've been working closely with the Chief Medical Officer of Health in making sure that most of these payments can be done, and majority of us have been able to enjoy services using the current scheme that we have. But colleagues, definitely you have also felt my personal touch when you had issues that were faced us as a unit, as a family, especially social front, when we have bereavement, and when we had many other things. And now going forward, dear brothers and sisters, this is my agenda, that we will be able to work closely with management so that the path that we have taken on the remittances of social deductions will be followed. That for the national CBA and local CBA, we are going to work closely, engaging us all in making sure that we can be able to get the 2017-2021 CBA national payment done, the arrears and the new salary scales, and the local CBA 2013-2017 also implemented after it is done with SRC. The issue of the GS and TS, we shall be tabling a comprehensive document before management so that we can have our GS contracted on 3 years and the TS contracted on 5 years, TS. But more so, we must initiate the discussion that this cadre of academic staff can also be permanent and pensionable. We are going forward also, members. We intend to make sure that the pension scheme is working and running for all of us and for the good of us. In terms of medical health, we want to pursue a cross mix between health insurance and the formula that we are using today, because with health insurance, at one point in time, your health, the medical cover has a limit, and we were able to combine this with what we have to in our current situation so that we can be able to sort our medical health issues. Colleagues, I know the issue areas that are remaining with from 2013-2017 CBA and 2017-2021 CBA. We have been able to do a lot, and we can be able to do a lot given the opportunity so that we can be able to deliver on this. You will remember that during the previous strike, we were able to mobilize members so that we can be able to get the current CBA, which bequeaths us with at least, on average, more than 15,000, and going forward, especially beginning with the next month or the month after next month, I believe we shall be able to get our new salary scales, and then going forward, we shall all be together in fighting for the 5 billion which was awarded by the courts. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jeff. You are quite within the time that you are assigned. Yeah. So I thank you for that. Now, Peter, the floor is yours. Please just articulate to us what is your manifesto, and exactly within 10 minutes we shall be able to stop you, or can stop within the 10 minutes.
Thank you. Brothers and sisters who have come today, and those who are watching us through the Zoom or the web and YouTube, good morning. Well, my name is Peter Levinje. I'm a lecturer in the Department of Construction Economics and Management, School of Architecture. And I'm vying for this position of a chair, having served as vice chairman in this outgoing regime. Now, members, you realize that there will be differences between the way of Jacob Musembe approach and my approach. It will be different because my competitor here is giving a report of what has been happening as a secretary. And this is basically like the report that was there in the AGM. Me, I'm going to look at or to give what I think I will do once I'm elected as a chairman. And having been the union, I know the gaps that have been existing. And these are the gaps that I intend to fill up. Obviously, there are two seats that are very important in a union. The first one is the secretary, who is the CEO of the union. He is the one who has all the documents. is also the center of information. You can decide to release or not to release any information. The other one is the chairman. Chairman, according to the UASU Constitution, among other duties is to share all the meetings, to protect the Constitution, and to ensure the custom and traditions of the Union are upheld or adhered to. Now, when you are among those other officials, there's almost little you can do. Otherwise you'll be accused of insubordination. But when you are inside there, you can see omissions, things that are not being done. I was there and I saw things that are not being done, and these are the ones that I want to tackle. If I am elected, I want to change the way UASU operates, right from the beginning. For instance, when members join in this institution, when they are employed, be they contract or permanent, I want to cause that there will be an induction every year. There will be an orientation so that new members are brought into picture. What is this thing all about to us? Why are they being deducted? You can get the raw data from the human resource so that we're able to contact those who have joined this institution. We call for a meeting, we address them, we tell them what UASU is all about, we give them pamphlets. These have been lacking. It is not difficult to get that one. Secondly, members, I will improve on communication. Communication has not been very good. Information from UASU to the general membership has not been very good. Remember, this communication can only be done according to law by the SG, by the secretary, the chapter secretary. He's the only one who can, who is authorized by the Constitution to release information. If the chairman, I will cause that information regarding any UASU activity or updates is shared to the general membership promptly. That way, either through the web, and I even look at it this way. We can have an UASU notice board permanently for UASU matters. It's not difficult. This business of getting updates when you meet across the secretary in the compound, and that's the only way you can get an update, is wrong. We have been pushing for that from the inside, but it has not been happening. There will be an UASU permanent notice board, a type that can have a lock and key. There's some type of notice board where there's glass, and when you put information there in terms of documents, then you lock, so that everybody knows where that notice board is located. And when you're within the compound, you can pass through there to see whether you have any new information regarding the UASU. That one again is not difficult to achieve. Members, I know UASU, there are perceptions, and sometimes the relationship between the UASU and management is adversarial because of these perceptions. These are things that can be corrected. I intend to improve relationship with the management. When you look at me clearly, if I knock any office door, even of the VC, as a chairman of UASU, with this my bad head, he'll open and listen to me, because I am an elder and I work in this institution. Because there are some things that the VC or whoever is leading this institution will not know through his official channels. He can only know through UASU, through the chairman of UASU. That one is not difficult to achieve. I will improve the relationship between UASU and management. I intend to improve the relationship between UASU and the council. I intend to knock the door of the University Council, the chairman, and tell the chairman, this is a new phase of UASU. We intend to improve the relationship of UASU and the council, so that some matters we share with the council. is very important. The last time we had this meeting was about 5 or so years ago with a certain Professor Guru, who was the chairman of the council. But unfortunately, within a short while, he was removed as chairman before he could do anything. And he really was very happy to have met us. Right now, the relationship between the university, the UASU and the council has been destroyed. I intend to improve it if I'm elected as chairman. Now, we have problems, internal problems in this university that are so unique. Every university has problems, but this university has got myriad of problems. Very unique to this university. Some of them, we are often told there's no money. It's okay, there's no money. But there are some things that can be done that the availability of finances does not matter. For instance, the way the claims are paid in this university is wrong. You have some claims, even FTC claims, that were lodged in 2014 and have not been paid to date. But you have others that were lodged last week and have been paid. That one has nothing to do with the availability of finances. This is actually wrong. It's almost criminal. This is something that somebody of a capacity of a UASU chairman can push and have it collected. This is the issue of financial integrity in the finance office. We need to have a policy of first in, first out. The document the claim that has come right now is paid later after the first one was paid. We need to sort out that much because you cannot explain the issue of lack of finances on the issue of the order of payment. That one has nothing to do with the availability of finance in this institution. It has something to do with problems in the cash office. These are things that we need to push properly, and everybody will listen. Even if you go to the VC, will tell you it's true. There needs to be an order of paying these claims. Good. Now, this CBA, I was involved in the negotiation of this CBA. Right now, it is sitting the desk of SRC, together with the CBA for Kusu and Korea. Let me tell you one thing. The possibility is that maybe I request 2-3 minutes only.
Only one.
Thank you. Now, because these are very important issues that members want to hear. Now, we need, and those are instances where the management of the university combines forces with UASU. We need to combine forces, UASU and management, and fight SRC. Otherwise, they are likely to say, you have no capacity to meet the request of the CBA. That's what they are likely to say. But if we can combine, so that we lobby out there, VC lobbies this way, as we lobby this way, this thing can be signed and it be returned. But if we don't go that, and that's why I want to bring a new type of management of UASU issues. Because there are some times you fight, there are other times when you don't fight, where you combine forces, even with the management. I want to bring that aspect. The issue of pension has been talked about so many times, I don't need to go there. The issue of GAs, let me touch the GAs because these are very crucial constituencies, Chairman. Just let me touch it because I think it's wrong to cut me short on that one. They will feel very bad, Chairman. Just that one, only. Chairman, they will feel very bad because I've just mentioned the word GA and TFs. Let me conclude it.
You still have 5 minutes at the end, so there's no problem. You still have 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll be sure they'll be waiting and I comply.
Yeah, thank you. You still have 5 minutes at the end. So members, allow me to call on our moderators. That is, Dr. Geoffrey Tieno will ask the first question to our first contestant, and Dr. Joyce Moha will ask the second question, and that is going to be directly to the second contestant.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, aspirants, for articulating clearly some of the issues you look forward to handle. So my first question, without taking so much time, to the first contestant, Bwana Musembe. You have been in UASU, and you had your successes, your challenges. Going forward, are you bringing in any new ideas or approaches on how we are going to deal with some of the issues that you've clearly articulated? So that in terms of seeing results, the members will be able to see fast-track results in the many myriads of issues. You can pick any issue. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Otieno. Colleagues, I realize the issue of timing is a bit complex, because you have to work within that time and then deliver something. Yeah? I pick up a question like this. I have the experience, and I know where we are coming from. I am particularly clear about how we are going to go about what is ahead of us. Members, the working and operation of this institution called UASU follows some kind of procedure. There are times when you work with management, and there are times that you work against the management. I have learned that all. Let us look at the issues that we have before us. These define the change in the modus operandi. When we look at the pending claims, the management has its own part to play. We also have our own part to play. I intend to change the way the approach has always been, so that we can be able now to have a very clear, well-defined and signed agreement between us and management on how these pending claims will be cleared one-on-one. And going forward, we shall now review the achievement made in executing the same as a team, where now we shall involve our members in special AGMs, so that any report that is coming from management on the payments that are being done are done and presented to the membership. This way, all of us shall be one team in pushing management so that we can be able to get these payments done. Chair, on the matter of the pension, we have been able to save close to 1 billion Kenya shillings of our contributions. It is now safely tucked in the accounts of the fund manager, Cohort Trust. The management and the government, because pension is a government management issue per se, have twice our contribution to pay. Going forward, we are going to engage our corporate trustee, and again, we are going to have a very clear path to work in making sure that the monies that are with government can be sent to our account, and that members who retire can be able to get the maximum benefit. This is a clear change from the way we have been doing things. So new ideas are coming, new ways of doing things are happening, and I want to assure members that going forward, it will not be business as usual. Count on the experience, because it is this experience that will enable us to get the right act together in order to be able to achieve where we have difficulties. I have clearly said, Chairman, that for the issue of the GS and the TFs, we will have a very good proposal before the Council. And again, we will be able to go through this negotiation together, so that we can be able to get a document that is binding on how we shall be treating our GS and TFs going forward. And lastly, Chairman, it is not right to say that we have not been working with management. We have been. It is not right to imagine that we have not been working with the council. We have been. We have been. And I have documents to prove. We have been. We have engaged them. We have sent memorandums. And they have responded. We have sat down. The current chairman, Dr. Sado, is aware, has been communicated to. So the issue of, I don't think as my friend here would refer to as a new way, I think we already have past that. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you so much. We can applaud our candidate. So the next question is going to Peter.
Thank you, our contestants, for your very good presentation. So, Peter Levinje, I would like to ask a question that was sent earlier from a member of UASU. Most members said that while you were the vice chairman of UASU, you were very quiet. They'd like to know what you stood for, and with that, they would like you to state 2 critical challenges that are peculiar to DOMS at TUK and not other universities, and how now you, as chair, if you're elected, you're going to deal with these critical issues based on your background that you had at the... Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the member who is asking that question. And it really gives me the opportunity to explain that, because I know many people have been wondering. But let me say this. The union structure and protocol and the union tradition and customs are such that it's very sensitive to the issue of somebody is abominating his boss. The constitution of the union is very clear, and it's an 18-page document that the duties of the vice chairman actually are 2. If you look at the union constitution, it is to chair the meeting if the chairman is not there, or if delegated by the chairman. Full stop. Those are the duties of the chairman. If you go beyond there and purport to bring in new ideas, just like everywhere in this country, deputy governors, the moment they try to outshine their governors, they are reprimanded, disciplined, and thrown out. I have been careful, because I don't like insubordinating my bosses. I have been careful to confine myself to the constitution of UASU that clearly states my duties. That is why I am careful. I'm very careful. I even have to look beyond my shoulders to explain some things which, if they have not been explained by the SG. Thank you. There is a second part of the question that are not captured well.
I'm sorry about that. They want you to identify 2 critical challenges that are peculiar to the DOMS at TUK and how you're going to address that. Good.
Actually, it's good they are saying critical because the challenges are so many. I even don't know how to prioritize them, to know which one is number 1 or 2 and 3. But even some I've just mentioned right now, claims in this office are never paid. That's normally very painful. The issue of medical is also very painful. That even our NHF does not work. Payments are done, and they are not done promptly, so that right now everybody is behind in payments of NHF. You walk into an hospital, you are told you cannot be treated. These are things that are very critical because they relate to health of ourselves and our families. And these are things that really don't involve, you cannot explain that university doesn't have money for that, because the money is involved is so little. You are talking about 2,000 per person or 1,700 per person. These are things, if you sit with the management and you explain to them how our members are suffering because of walking to a hospital and you are told that your NHF is behind, these are things that can be sorted. It's not a question of university being broke. Everybody understands. So the problems in TUK are so many. We'll have to sit down with my committee that will be elected. We prioritize them. We see which ones are that need immediate attention. Members, thank you.
Thank you so much. We can applaud I would like to take this opportunity to maybe explain the next session that we're going to have. This session is a question from the audience. After that, I will give you, just a minute. I'll give you time. If you have a question to your fellow contestant, you can ask your fellow contestant one question, right? Then we shall come.
Before that, you had said that I could also handle his question, and he could also handle my question. Before we go
that's right. Yeah, thanks for that question. Thanks for that question. So with that, maybe I give you 5 minutes to handle this question. Then you can have also 5 minutes to handle the question that was given.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. I will start with the question posed by Dr. there on the two most challenging issues that are peculiar to this institution. I will pick pension and I will pick gratuity to the contract term, employees in the academic staff. And I would like to say, as I had explained, with pension, I think going forward, we will get a solution very soon. And I hope that members will be able to give me the chance to continue the journey so that we can be able to complete. With gratuity for our GAs and TAs, especially. I believe the idea that the institution can be able to contribute small amounts of money to an entity like Lab Trust, so that at the end of the contract term, a contract employee will go to Lab Trust and collect the check for the gratuity, could be the best option out of the problem that we have. It has worked elsewhere and it can work for us. And I'm going to push for it so that we can be able to sort the issue of gratuity once and for all. Being able to participate in union activities does not require one to be in an office. I'll give a good example. When we had strike, we had what we are calling strike defense force. One of our colleagues who is fine today for organizing was very active, Dr. Joe Bwanyako. He was not an official. So the idea that we can hide behind an office and say we could not be able to do this, we are talking about participation in what we have, what we face, and how we solve our problems together. Because union is about agitation, union is about facing those challenges fearlessly and courageously. Thank you, Chair.
Oh, thank you so much, Jacob, for that reminder. So, Peter, you have the chance to answer the first question if you so wish.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's your time. 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. There is an issue that I had requested the moderator to allow me to ventilate, and I can just use 1 minute to that before I come to the question that had been asked initially. The issue of the GA and TFs. Let me say this: that there was a Q document that had tried to nullify the position of the assistant lecturer, that had indicated that you can only be recruited permanent and pensionable if you have done the PhD. That document was thrown away by the court. Right now, a university can actually employ the way it used to do initially. And therefore, there is no reason why somebody who has finished masters and maybe have published cannot actually be employed permanent. There is no document that prohibits that. That document that was prohibiting was thrown away by the court. Unfortunately, it had even been engineered from this place. I want to lobby through the decision-making organs of the university, internally and externally, to have that issue looked, so that somebody with masters can actually get a permanent job. It has been happening, it has happened. There is no reason why it shouldn't happen. The other issue about GAs and TFs is the issue of the payments, the gratuities and all that. Well, I know if you go to the finance guys, they'll tell you, we want to pay, but we don't have money. Right now, there are even arrears that are pending for GAs and TFs arising from the promotions that were done. They have not been paid. What how I handle it is, this is a question of sitting down with the management and looking at how we can start paying, how they can start paying in parts. For instance, you get maybe an order of, this time we are paying arrears 5 million. Which department are we going to start with? So that those who are owed, they can be cleared. Now, those who have been cleared, they will not again demand to be paid. We go to the next group. So at the end of the day, we are solving a problem both with management, union and management jointly. So we are clearly in a certain order, so that we agree with management. Can you set aside 5 million or 2 million to clear some GAs? Then next year you clear others, so that eventually you have cleared all of them. Instead of demanding, say, for 30 million to be paid for, that will be a lot of money, maybe depending on the financial issues of the university. So we can have an order. The other one is our GAs and TFs who are there. I know the relationship between you and the VC is very good. This is what we can capitalize. And I'm sure you guys can be considered even for permanent and pensionable, if we are able to meet the management profile, those who have cleared masters. And you can have your gratuities paid, those who have arrears in the university. These are things that can be achieved if there is a good relationship between management and UASU. The other one, because I think you have said you can counter an answer. It's not that I have not participated in UASU matters. I have. I have even led a demo to take a protest note to the VC right here from Red Square. The only problem is that even our members don't attend these things. Some of those people who are asking that, most likely they never attended. Those who have been attending, they obviously have seen my face with a bad head. They have seen it. Yeah? They have seen it. I have also participated in very many UASU things. It's only that there are some things that we cannot shout in the rooftops, due to what we call union culture. There are some things that I cannot speak in the press like that. We'll be exposing ourselves. And some of us have unionism blood in our veins. We know what it means. Thank you.
Thank you so much, contestants, for being within time, because we are really fighting the time here. Now, without much ado, we would like to ask if there is anybody in the audience who have a question. Myself, I have some questions which were posted by the audience on my phone, which I shall ask you. But if there is anyone who has a question. You can state, there's a microphone there. You can state if you want it to be answered by a particular person, you are free to do so.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This is Dr. Wego, Duncan, School of Mathematics. My question is addressed to Mr. Jacob Musembe, who is vying as the chairman. I don't know whether he is aware that the TFs, especially, have been suffering, especially at the end of their contracts, in the sense that paying gratuity at the end of every contract period has been very difficult. The TFs go through hell on earth to get their money. Even computing the vouchers, you have to literally push somebody in the human resource to do that. And these TFs are under pressure because the letter is very clear that they can only be absorbed for permanent terms upon completion of PhD. I'm talking as a victim because I served as a TF for 5 years. And I was promoted last year, 2019, after completing my PhD in 2019. I was promoted last year, 2020, after completing my PhD in 2019. Mr. Musembe has tried to explain what he intends to do. The TFs have suffered under his watch for all this time, but I was not convinced about the explanation that he has just given is not sufficient. I'm not fighting for myself, but for my brothers and sisters who are TFs at the moment. I'm no longer a TF. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Keep it fairly short because of time.
Why you anticipated what I want to say? You didn't tell him to keep it short. So let me just say what I want to say, please.
Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Nyanjong. I'm an ATL in Government and Legal Studies. I wish I had resigned to contest these elections because we have poor leadership. And it embarrasses us that somebody who has been a leader for 10 years still wants to continue leading the union when he knows he has done nothing for this union in those 10 years. Musembe is saying that he wants to take things to Lapsang. He's been there for 10 years. Why didn't he take them to Lapsang? My big question is, these people who have been there for 10 years and have done nothing, why do they still want to? They should let new blood come into the union so they could bring in fresh ideas and do better things for the union. The outgoing office has been impermeable. I was embarrassed when the union at the AGM of 2019, in an AGM that took 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock, the union invited the national officials to come and take 2 hours to tell us nothing, to repeat message after message from each person who spoke, instead of letting us discuss the affairs that affect the chapter. It shows a union leadership that is cowardly, that does not want to face its electorate and address the issues that affect its electorate. That is the point at which I decided that that union leadership had to be got rid of. It was a cowardly leadership without direction. Just before the last AGM, and I really wish to attend that last AGM, I sent a scorecard to the WhatsApp chapter that we have, asking people to evaluate the performance of this union leadership that is outgoing. Unfortunately, it did not pick up. I gave them, for the 26 objectives of the union provided by the Constitution, I gave them a score of 8 out of 100. Because for so many of those items in those objectives, it was 0, 0, 0, 0. They had done nothing. It's as if they're not even aware that those aims and objectives of the union are there. So some of the issues that, like the one that my friend is talking about, those are the things in there for which I was giving 0. And I don't see that a union office that has been there for 10 years and has not seen those functions, those objectives, can suddenly tell us that they've woken up. What did they say? That they're going to sign a new agreement with, I don't know who, to improve things. The constitution that we have is a sorry constitution. It is a shameful constitution, given that UASU is a union of all the lawyers, all the law teachers in this country. We have a constitution that is internally incoherent, it is contradictory, and one of the contradictions is with respect to whether ATLs can lead or not lead in the union. The second contradiction is the fact that you're electing delegates in this election. That constitution does not allow the election of delegates in this constitution, Mr. IEBC. You read that constitution carefully, you will see that it does not allow the election of delegates during a general election like this. But you're doing these things because you don't have respect for that constitution. And because you're in cahoots with these people. We need proper leadership in this union that will get things done. There are a lot of other things, transparency, communication that have been divide and rule. I joined UASU in 2018. I have been talking about a common platform that all of us can communicate with each other. They know very well that WhatsApp has only 250 members. So you have WhatsApp 1, you have WhatsApp 2, and then what about the other lecturers who don't belong? How do you communicate with them? Somebody told us of something called Telegram, which can carry, I don't know how many people. Musembe refused. BBF, somebody put together a proposal for BBF, benevolent fund. We're still collecting money in an out of disorganized way. When there's a substantive proposal on how to do things like BBF, Musembe refused. What sort of a leader is this? And where are we heading to for another 10 years? Let us change the leadership.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, you respond. Last question. This is the last one. One question only, so that we can give other participants also time to come and before you.
Sorry, good morning. My name is Dr. Levinje from journalism. I think two of the issues I wanted to seek for clarification have already been addressed. I'm also looking through the hall, the people that are supposed to address some of these issues are not here, so I don't know how they're getting it. I joined UASU, I think, in 2016, and I don't know the jurisdiction of UASU. Where does it start, where does it end? Some time back, there was a dossier that was written by, I think, Professor Kinyika from the University of Nairobi about the two universities, University A and University B. So when it comes to, I don't know about other universities, where, the teaching staff was at University A, and University B is the non-teaching staff. So from our own observation here, the University B seems to be well-fed, well-nourished, while University A is malnourished and, it's like we are really pushed to the corner at the expense of the other sector of the university. For instance, what my brothers raised about devotion. You join here with someone in administration, maybe the same grade. In the next 3 years, the person will have moved 3, 4, 5 grades, 2, 3 grades ahead of you. Why us here to make a number of breaks? You must get a PhD, which some of us have gotten, you must publish it or publish it. You get your PhD, you wait for 3 years to be promoted. The person on the other side who has added maybe a postgraduate diploma in human resource is in grade 13, but you are still in grade 11 with a PhD, So I don't know how the UASU, what is your role in all that? How do you ensure that as the other people are eating and looking nice, they are not growing thinner and malnourished and negotiated? So can we also be brought, so what can be done about that? Number 2, and also for a long time, I'm meant to believe that CBA issue, the UASU usually matters about CBA. But when you talk to your colleagues in other universities, you find they are doing much better. 2 weeks ago, I was at an acknowledged place student, a real example. I was seeing an acknowledged with someone from Western Nairobi. So she's already, money for her specs have been paid. She's I think in grade A or B, 5,000 upfront. Me, my classes cost 50,000. I have to come, maybe pay more money, chase 11,000 refund. So you feel like across the universities, are we equal? Why are other people doing better than us? So that's again about union. So the last one. What have you done, people, to mobilize us? Everything falls and starts under leadership. So when you call out, we participate in daily all activities, but when you meet at the Red Square, we are here. So what is that you are doing or not doing that you don't attract people? Is it communication? Is it mobilization? So that people buy your vision and work with you. So that when there is an activity, you are all there, not just 5 people, contestants are not even here and all that. I think that's what I wanted to say. And then for those seeking a 3rd, 4th term, highly convinced as well, you need to go back. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, colleagues, for those questions and also those expressions that you made. So I'll ask them to respond within 2 minutes. Only 2 minutes. Yeah.
Chairman, I think 2 minutes may be too little. Just be a little bit kind. You do it a bit, give us 5. Because Brother Nanchoma has something to say and we can respond.
5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. My brother, I've been there. I'm aware about the case of our GS and TFs. I'm aware. I have also tried to talk to management on the payment of gratuity. I'm sure it has been an issue. But again, my brother, here in this hall and out there, let us not shy away from saying how our home is. We are not strangers to TUK and what is happening around us. So as we are pushing blame and we say this has not been done, let us also accept the truth. This institution, across many audited reports, has a final line that says that it is financially insolvent. Let us face that fact. And with that, we have also to agree that we also have a responsibility to push so that the little that comes benefits everybody across. And I can assure you, my brother, we have done this. And that is why I'm proposing the new model. So that at the end of the contract term, our hard-working TFs and GS don't go to the finance. They go elsewhere and get their check home. We believe by management paying kidogo, it will not be a big issue to them. Kindly give us a chance. Give me a chance so that this can be brought to fruition. My senior brother, John. One, I would like to say that you took the tone of a campaign. Yes, you outlined issues, but that was not fair enough. When you campaign and you have the platform to campaign for a particular group of people, it is always fair to look at myself and what can be done against what cannot be done. I will take on the issue of national officials. The order of business in a union like UASU is such that we are a unit that is managed by the national office. There is nowhere in the world where you find a branch, a chapter of a union having more powers than the national office. It is within the constitution of UASU, and therefore there is nothing we could do about that moment. And I remember you're talking about an AGM that happened 2 years ago. Delegates must be elected. That is the constitution of UASU. We have a directive from RTU, Registrar of Trade Unions, that directs us to follow this constitution in carrying out our elections. I will read and quote Article 6, National Delegates Council, Subarticle D, kindly. Every chapter of the union shall have the right to send one delegate for every 100 or part thereof of duly registered members at such membership register at such chapter, provided that nothing herein contained shall authorize a chapter to send more than 7 delegates. And listen to this. The registered members of the chapter concerned shall elect delegates for that purpose. So kindly that you have been informed. You are misinformed. We tried Telegram, we tried BBF. The issue of Telegram and matching these units together. Nobody is opposed to that. Nobody is opposed to that. I did not refuse. Nowhere. There is no evidence. That is an mere allegation. BBF is a work in progress. And you cannot say that I refused. There's nothing that I refused. We have a document, a working document, that must be tabled before a special AGM for these members to agree so that moving forward we can have a constitution. Chairman, I can see maybe I have maybe my just one small thing on mobilization. Just that small thing. Yes. I am pressed by time, but I will talk about mobilization. One, I want to respect that you have been there with us. Anytime we call meetings, you come. You are always there. This is what we intend to do. We shall now restructure ourselves so that we have numbers of our members per school. And we shall operate in such a way that we will be able to meet these members of the school either through Zoom or another means most frequently. So that by the time we are holding our AGM, there is an ongoing conversation between us and the membership. You have seen I've been able to work hard. Probably, I don't want to say that I didn't have maximum support, but I want to carry the responsibility that we can do better. And please give us the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair.
Peter, you have 5 minutes to at least.
Is it to wrap up or?
If you have an answer to any of the concerns that they have raised.
Okay, well, the only thing that I've noted, Moderator, is that some issues are not even for this particular meeting. Some of those issues are for an AGM. And this meeting is for campaign. We are selling to Nauza seller. There are some questions. We are selling manifestos. There are some questions for I've noted some two questions for an ordinary AGM in the main hall. Okay? I don't know whether I can wrap up or how you want me to go on.
Yeah, you can wrap up within those 5 minutes.
Members, like every other organization, we need to be careful when faced with an election of this nation. First is that there is what we call institutional memory. It is very long for us to remove each and every equipment from the leadership. We need to leave some members who know some history of this university, who knows the transitions that have been there, who knows the unique problems that have been here for a while. You guys, you know, there are people who cannot even receive their pension, the TSC pension, without having received the pension from this university. So those layers of information, you need to have one or two who remain to tell the story. And that person is myself. Why myself? Because I now know the ropes. Why not my competitor? With this campaign, it's good to mention some of the things. We need to be careful to avoid what agriculturalists tell us, what we call inbreeding. Inbreeding is a term mainly used in animals. When you have a he-goat in your farm, you have to prevent it from being there for a long time because it will breed with its children. And that way, you have some children having stunted growth and even failure in immunity levels. What do I mean here? It's good to let it grow. We have some members who have grown from delegates, they were co-opted, they invited for vice chairman. It's important now to let them become chairman so that they can bring fresh ideas. They have been there, they know what is missing, and they also carry the institutional memory. If we have a secretary who have served for 12 years, again moving to become the chairman, that's what I'm calling inbreeding. Because this chairman will be sharing meetings shared by a new secretary. And this new secretary will never be allowed to bring in new ideas that maybe can politically build him. You know politics. The new chairman atakanyangia hizo ideas because zitajenga huyo ambaye ameingia. So those of us who are watching, let's be careful. We need to have this union grow. It can only grow if we have some changes at the top leadership. Being also careful to retain some for the purpose of institutional memory. But we will be stifling this union if we allow that the former secretary become the chairman. We'll be stifling the growth of this union. You need to he needs to let those he has mentored also take up the position, the senior positions. So if we are careful about the union, let the union grow. Let those who are joining as delegates also have a future to become chairman, to become secretary. Secretary is the pinnacle, is the highest level of a union. Secretary is the highest level of a union you can get. It's important that
time is up.
Also he allows those who are below him to climb up the ladder and bring in new ideas. Vote Peter Levinje, and I will bring the new ideas, and you will realize the potential that I had been having. Ilikuwa imefunikiwa. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, let me give Jacob 2 minutes to ask for your vote, because I know we are live and this thing is being followed with all of us in the institution. So, no, you need a recap and also need 2 minutes for asking for votes. Yeah, just ask for vote for 2 minutes. Okay, do a recap then.
My recap. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. I just want to remind you, I have my recap. Number one, members, when we are talking about a union, the issue of agriculture and inbreeding may be misplaced, because what we are saying here is this. It is not about one imagining many things. My brother here has been there for the last 10 years, so I don't know why he would pinpoint me also for 10 years. He's also considering his own 10 years. Because whatever position you serve, you have served. Because it is not the individual, it is actually the tenure of office and the office that you occupy. And members, this is what I want to say. The union is run by a constitution, and this constitution has to be followed. This constitution gives us office responsibilities, and therefore there's no one of us who should be able to hide behind another one, say that I was Kadamizwad, no. That one is not the truth. What members I stand for is that the experience that I have, and I would like also to ask you, what is it? Is it wrong that my brother Muga Kolale now is the national chairman, and he has served to us since 2003? There is nothing wrong with that, because what is important at the end of the day is that the person given the responsibility can be able to deliver in that office. And that is why I'm saying that my experience, I know where we are in the 13.8 billion CBA. I know where we have come from. I'm there to lead us until we get all these areas. And I want to mention this. Politics is about interests. Our interest here, at the end of the day, is to have a better salary and better working conditions. I present the best opportunities for us if you compare the chairs that are presenting themselves, so that we can be able to take this union further, for the betterment of all of us. I believe that we are all going to get more than 15,000 shillings into our monthly pay across all that period until we do another CBA 2017-2021. We are going to get arrears, and I believe the 5 billion will be able to give us in excess of at least 250,000. That is $250,000 for all of us. This is the interest we are talking about. How do you give somebody who is inexperienced the mandate to handle such a huge responsibility? This is what I'm saying, dear brothers and sisters. Let us look at our interests. I've learned a lot. For our GS and TFs, rest assured that you are in the right hands. I will be able to bring back to you a report card on the negotiations between us, council and management, very soon, on the issue of gratuity and the period that you are contracted. We are almost there with our pension scheme. I'm the right hand. I have moved with this pension scheme all the way up to and including sacking the board of trustees so that we can be able to save money that we contribute to the pension scheme. I am the right hand. I am the right person. Make no mistake. We require experience. He has agreed. I have the best experience. I will not interfere with my SG. I cannot. This work is not done from 8 to 5. This work is done while we are doing our normal duty. And I know what the Constitution gives me in terms of responsibilities. I will follow that. And therefore, brothers and sisters, my final shot. Please, please, please. Musembe for chairman, Musembe for chairman, Musembe for chairman. Solidarity forever, brothers and sisters.
Thank you so much, Jacob and Peter, for articulating our issues. Colleagues, I'm aware that we can't exhaust the questions. We have just initiated the debate. We wanted the debate to be very mature, and I do agree, and I think my moderators can agree, that it has been very, very mature. They might have not exhausted the questions that you truly asked, but please let's continue with asking those questions outside there to them. I do appreciate all the questions that you have asked, and also I do appreciate a lot your input to at least make us knowledgeable on matters union. Now, before I crown you, I would like to take this opportunity to ask all the contestants who are here in the crowd to stand up so that at least you'll be introduced. This is an occasion whereby members are outside there and they might wonder who are there in this particular space. Just so I just want you to say your name and which position you are contesting for. Use the start from that corner. Yeah. Just say your name, the position that you're contesting for. Don't say so much you shall talk with the audience. It's not your day here. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone in the plenary. Good morning, everyone in the theater. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, everyone attending this online. I am Dr. Jacinta Kimuyu, vying for the position of TUK Chapter Secretary 1. I will have my time to be asked questions and 1 to 2 minutes. Thank you.
Good morning, members of TUK family. I'm Dr. John Utiena Wino. I'm vying for the post of Vice Chairman. I have myself before you to vote for me in as the Vice Chairman. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Rutere Ken Wambu is my name. I'm vying for Deputy Secretary General, and I urge the UASU TUK family to be calm and collected. We are here to remain and stay even after 28. Thank you.
you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Timba Collins Juma. I am vying for a position of a delegate. Kindly, I request for your vote on the 28th January and bring freshness in the leadership of UASU. Thank you, and stand with me for a prosperous union. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, voters.
Good morning.
My name is Alan Linda. They call me Delegate 001 on those WhatsApp forum, and I'm humbled by that. So we are urging you voters to turn out, because we can debate, we can do all these things, we can deliberate on issues, but if you don't turn out and vote, then you are doing an injustice. Please turn out and let your vote count. Linda Alan for the delegate. Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues in the hall and online. My name is Jen Wanyonyi Esese from School of Hospitality and Human Ecology. I am vying for the seat of Assistant Treasurer. I'm honest, diligent, and experienced. I humbly ask you to turn out in large numbers on 28th January and vote me, Jen Esese, as the Assistant Treasurer, and you will not regret. We will walk the journey together. So, Jen Esese for Assistant Treasurer. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Grace Jerry Katere. I'm from School of Creative Arts and Media. I'm vying for the position of Treasurer. I urge you that you show up on 28th and vote wisely. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, the panelists and the people watching on the YouTube and also virtually everywhere. My name is Naomi Gishunge from School of Geoscience and Environment. I'm vying for the position of Vice Treasurer, and I have the experience. I've been working as the Treasurer. I am diligent, I am focused. I've also been in the negotiations that have been going on for all the 2 CBAs. So come on 28th and practice your democratic right. Vote for Naomi Gishunge for Assistant Treasurer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can have a seat. Yeah. So, colleagues, I seek your permission. There's another contestant there, but it'll be introduced in the next session. Yeah. Allow me to call the meeting to an end as the chair. I take this opportunity to wish our 2 candidates who have been present here the very best of luck as you seek the votes from each one of us. Thank you so much for coming, and we shall meet outside again. Members, I wish to inform you that we are live. We are not stopping the streaming. So anything that you say here can be used against you elsewhere. So just talk in low voices when you are chatting. We are not stopping. We are just asking the contestant for SG positions to take the seat. The panelists for this session. It's going to be chaired by Dr. Geoffrey Otieno and assisted by Dr. Joyce Omoha and Dr. Tabitha Ndiku.
Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, contestants. I think for those who are here earlier, we explained what the format of the debate will be. We will give each contestant 10 minutes, okay, to introduce themselves and tell us what they intend to do for us in UASU for the position of secretary. We were expecting 4 contestants, but I can see 3. You will know which contestant is not there. They had their good reasons, I hope, for not coming. And I would like to welcome our contestants. This is an opportunity to meet the people. That's what we say, yeah? Meet the people and talk to the people about sera zenyu in Kiswahili. So the format is as follows. I'll go through it very quickly. 10 minutes, introduce yourself and talk about what you would want to achieve or do for UASU in this particular position. Thereafter, we will have a question-answer session from the panelists. I would like to make this clear. These questions were sent to us. We just sifted through them, and there'll be questions which will represent members' views, or voters' views in this case. So there'll be questions. The first question will be asked by Dr. Joyce Omoha, the next one by Dr. Tabitha Ndiku, and since we have a third contestant, I'll ask Professor Anyango to ask the third question to the third contestant. So you will have 5 minutes to respond to the questions from the panelists. Then we will give another additional 5 minutes if you want to answer a question that was asked to another contestant. You can also do that if you so wish. Then the next step will be questions from the audience who are live here. We'll give them, let's try and stick to time. So let's go to the question. If you have 2 questions, please take just 2 minutes to ask the questions. We'll ask the audience to ask at least 2 questions. And thereafter, we will have concluding remarks where each of the contestants, we will we'll give them a chance to wrap up and request for votes from the participants and the voters who are here in the hall and the ones who are live. So without much further ado, I don't think I've left anything else. We will start in the order of the schedule that was sent here. So the first contestant is Okalo Dick, followed by Julius Ongui Bosire, followed by Jacinta Kimuyu, followed by Fred Wanyonyi. So without much further ado, I hand it over to you. Karibuni sana, and thank you so much for heeding our call to come and have this debate, which is the first one of its kind in this university for UASU. Asanteni sana, karibuni. So we shall start the debate.
Thank you very much, Chair, for granting granting me this opportunity at this time to share about me. Dick Okalo Dick. I come from the School of Hospitality and Human Ecology. I'm a lecturer there. And I'm vying for the position of chapter secretary for TK. I think let's just start from the beginning. You may wonder why I chose to vie for this office. And what is it that I want to do that is different? What is it that I want to express or engage in that will make a different UASU? I think number one, the first item why I want to really engage and be the Secretary General is based on basically my experience and the experience of others. I want to, number one, change the face of UASU. The face of UASU, in my view, and in the view of many others, has been that which has proved to be very difficult to deal with. Difficult in terms of getting of information, difficult in terms of being responsive to the members, difficult in terms of accountability, okay, on the affairs of UASU. You ask a question, and what you get at the end of the day is a rebuttal. You get a kind of an answer which really you wonder why that person should respond to you that way. So the first thing I want to do to UASU, okay, at the very, very top, is make UASU's face be that which is responsive, with that which is transparent, it's open, it's accountable to the members. And that is for a fact. Number two, also in line with that, is that I want an UASU that is engaged in communicating to the members openly and in a timely manner. We have had an UASU that gives responses very, very late. You sometimes ask a question because they say this, and later on you get to hear of something else later on, which is very different. And when you ask the question about what is happening, you do not get a quick answer as such. So I want to build an UASU's face, build UASU's face to a level whereby they communicate accurately and communicate in a timely manner. I believe that is part of a very, very important mandate of UASU. Number three is this adversarial attitude that is there between UASU and management. I believe very strongly that that ought not be the direction we need to take. Okay. There's a way we can engage with management in such a manner that in as much as we are firm with our demands, in as much as we are firm with what we want, okay, we do not appear to be adversarial in our nature, in our approach to UASU. So the first thing I want to do is basically essentially rotating around that area, change the face of UASU, which has indeed been very bad. You can't get records, you can't get a document, you can't get register from them. You ask for a simple thing like register, which is supposed to be very common. Just a register of members. You can't get that register. You ask for the constitution, you can't get a constitution. And these are very, very important things. Number 2 has got to do with the issue of pension. The issue of pension. The issue of pension in this institution, actually I was shocked that for over 5 years, there has been no pension being submitted to the pension fund for the members. 5 good years. This has not been happening. Over 5 years, actually. And that is very, very concerning, for any member, okay, of TUK. Some of us are soon heading there. We are of course heading towards retirement, and we are worried then what will happen to us. We want to engage management in such a manner on this issue of pension, okay, that once and for all it is sorted out. We want management to give us a commitment. Okay, this thing of leaving things in abeyance is what actually has brought us to where we are. Management to give us a commitment that every year or every month, this is the kind of money we'll be submitting to the members concerning the areas that are there in pension, so that we are able to know that by 2025 or 2024 or 2023, that pension issue is settled once and for all. There needs to be a deep commitment from management concerning that. And my team, and I want to guarantee you guys that members, that will be something that we pursue top of the agenda.